Hello guys, finally got out to the range with the CZ P09 C Nocturne. Gonna put some rounds down range. These are the first shots. I did mount the Hollison 407K on there. Just a little bit about that. I'm not sure if the slide width is wider on this one versus the original P07. Have not researched that yet. I will be doing that after the range today and getting a more in-depth, comprehensive tabletop review where I will talk about the widths and things versus the older models of this gun. But the reason I bring that up is because it will flush mount the RMSC shield and the 407K footprint, which is, I put the 407K on here. It did flush mount. The lugs sticking out of the slide did recess nicely into the bottom of the optic, so it will not move side to side. It does flush up to the back of the cutout. There's a small gap at the very front of the cutout, but because of those lugs and the fact that it flushes at the back of the cutout, that will take care of that lateral recoil. So in that, I'm not so much worried about it, although there is an empty ledge on each side of the optic where it does not completely fill the void of the thickness on this slide. Okay, I just wish on a gun this size, I know it's subcompact, all of that, but you know, like FN baby got back, it's a little bit thick, it's got some thickness to it, which I don't mind, but I just wish they would have made this for an RMR a little bit bigger optic with a bigger glass. Not a huge fan of a micro optic on a gun this size. I hope that the F model that comes out is cut for a larger optic. I can only assume that it will be, but I don't know that yet. Anyway, did get the optic mounted on there. It is what it is. Can't do anything about it. It's on there now. And so I hope my method for attempting to zero the optic prior to coming out to the range worked, because otherwise I'm gonna have to stop the camera and zero it. But I did want you guys to see the very first shots with the gun. So I'm gonna take 4 shots, make sure it's where I'm aiming, and then I'm gonna talk about the initial 4 shots. So let's just do that. So it is right where I'm aiming. So other than when I did the initial unboxing, other than people coming out and telling me what an idiot that I was because I did not realize that it was a P09 C and that the P09 was not a full-size gun necessarily anymore, that it had a C and an F, other than giving me grief about that, even though I was just trying to be honest to help other people not make the same mistake. The only other thing that anyone really said was that looking at other reviewers, you're gonna regret having bought this gun and not getting the full size because it is so snappy, just super snappy, insanely snappy. Some people said that is not true. That is not true at all. I wish my wife was out here at the range today because she's a little more recoil sensitive and will be a little more honest about that, I think, as far as getting a more, honest, you know, review from someone that is a little bit recoil sensitive. Not at all. Not at all is this gun snappy. I did not think it would be. My original P07, which is, for the sake of this video, I'm going to call it a P07 optic ready. My original one was not snappy. I mean, the gun's got some girth on it. It's got a little bit of weight on it. Definitely the Hellcat Pro, even the Hellcat Pro Comp, more snappy than this, 100%. The Shield carry comp, Performance Center carry comp, oh my God, it's like shooting a 12 gauge compared to this. You can get mad about that if you want to, but if you have not shot this gun and you're saying that it recoils less than the Shield carry comp, it's because you haven't shot this gun. And if you say otherwise, it's just because you're brand loyal. I have to say that that's true, because in no way is this gun snappy through the first 4 shots. So I'm going to pull the trigger from a double action. I did not get to test fire, if you will, dry fire with the trigger. They don't recommend doing that. That's why they provide the snap caps. I didn't put it together and pull the trigger on this, so I don't know what to expect as far as the break on the double action. So Heck, who knows? Maybe it'll catch me off guard and be super, super snappy. I don't know. Okay, so my camera internal temperature got high and quit recording on me. But either way, that went off without a hitch, and you were able to see me pull it from a double action. In my opinion, in no way was it snappy. I mean, not for what it is anyway. Not insanely snappy like some other reviewers may have said. I don't know. I haven't looked at them. Just going off of what some of the people who have commented said to me. I believe this is a 17. It's a 15 round mag, but I believe it's got a +2 base on it here. My 17 round mag that came out of my CZ P10 C. I just wanted to see if it would cycle in there. Doesn't look too bad. And so I'm going to shoot it just a little bit more. Again, in no way do I think the gun is snappy at all. And the first mag I put through it was S&B. This is Remington range ammunition here. So let's just see how that goes. Lock back on the empty mag. So CZ P10 C magazines will work. I'm sure there's others that'll work, but until I actually put them in there and verify, I'm not going to say as much. But pretty fast, pretty accurate. Trigger, did not really mention the trigger in the initial unboxing because again, you should not pull the trigger on a empty chamber on this gun. That's what CZ recommends. But the trigger is, I mean, it basically feels, as I said in the initial unboxing, just like the original P09 or P07 trigger. No different. Doesn't really feel different than the P09 trigger either. Not sure that they made any changes to it, which is fine. No problem at all. I actually like the trigger. Don't have an issue with it. I love a hammer fired gun. I do like the serrations. I do like it looks way better than the original. I do love the texturing on the new lineup of these P09 pistols. I can't get used to saying that because this was always a P07 to me. But I do like the serrations. I do like the different sight setup because I will say that I did have a few of the P09, P07 variants that since the sight slid in from the front, had the little set screw, I did have one or two of them that got loose and or tried to fly out on me. Didn't break, it was just trying to come out. So I like that they've dovetailed it in now on the front and on the rear. I've always liked the luminescent sights. I prefer them over night sights any day. So I do like the sights. They are still luminescent like they were on the original. And it's just a sexy gun. It's a sexy looking gun. And I can also say that the lower profile slide lock and decocker, or if you decide to put the safety on here, does make it way more comfortable to hold in the hand. You don't get that pushback, if you will, on this area of your support hand from that being gawky and way out there like they were on the original one. Didn't really bother me on the original one either. The 407K seemed to perform well up here. So either way, today I will have put 250 rounds through the gun. That's generally what I try to do in the initial range review, and I will work my way up eventually to 1,000 rounds as I always do. I just can't afford to do it in the initial sitting. At the front of this video, you guys, lucky you, would have already saw basically the biggest majority of those 250 rounds other than the 2 magazines that you just saw. And because that's what I do at the end of the video, I just shoot from different angles, try to maybe let you see the target, and then I go into talking about the gun so that I can try to shorten the video up as much as possible and not just talk about it. In no way do I feel like this gun is snappy. Trigger is good, accuracy is good. just as fun as I remember the original P07. Definitely could see myself carrying this gun now that it is optic ready, but I am going to get over, shoot those additional 200, 225, whatever it is, to get the 250 rounds through it. And if there is a problem, as usual, I will stop the camera and I will insert that at the end of the video if I had any problems with it. I am going to eventually get up to 1,000 rounds, but I do like the gun, just like I do with all CZs. Insanely accurate for a subcompact gun. Make sure you go over, check me out on Patreon, consider monthly subscription. Any little bit helps. Helps to buy ammo, helps to buy target, spray paint, everything that goes into making these videos for you guys. Also, go over, check me out on Rumble, as I'm over there too. And also consider going over to gsquaredtactical.com, picking up some hats, cups. We have a variety of stuff over there for sale. Just encourage us. Go over there, pick that up. Thanks again so much for watching. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. And to God be the glory.